This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. A 4.5 magnitude earthquake strikes San Francisco. The Japan typhoon death toll climbs as bodies continue to be discovered. And the price of walking on water.
Hello and welcome to Matador News. I'm Omar James.
And I'm Sofia Gutierrez.
Fort Worth police have arrested Officer Aaron Dean on murder charges for the fatal shooting of Tatiana Jefferson inside her own home. Jefferson was playing video games with her 8-year-old nephew Saturday when police were called by a neighbor to investigate an open front door.
3 or 4 tactical officers come from around the corner, seemed like. Walk across the street, go in front of her house, past the front doors, which were open, go down the side of her house to the rear of her house. In less than a minute, I heard a gunshot.
Without identifying himself, Officer Dean shot Jefferson through a window. Jefferson's brother and the family's attorney say they're still in shock.
The case itself has been a whirlwind. Slowly but surely, we are allowing ourselves to feel.
This is the 9th shooting by Fort Worth police in 2019. 7 of those were fatal.
An earthquake followed by aftershocks hit the San Francisco Bay with a magnitude of 4.5 last night. The epicenter is located in Walnut Creek, where the earthquake was strong enough to knock any item off the shelves. The U.S. Geological Survey says there's a 2% chance for 1 or more aftershocks larger than 4.5 over the next week. The USGS says there's no major structural damage and no one was hurt.
Rescue efforts continue in Japan after the country was hit by a massive typhoon over the weekend. The typhoon brought approximately 36 inches of heavy rainfall, causing massive flooding. Roughly 34,000 homes did not have electricity, and roughly 100,000 homes were without running water. The death count is currently at 74 and is expected to climb. Although the storm is done, officials have told people to be aware of the mudslides that may follow after the typhoon. This is the most powerful typhoon to hit Japan since 1958.
Russians are now patrolling between the Turkish and Syrian military forces after the U.S. military started withdrawing from northern Syria. Syrian Kurds announced they had an agreement with the government of President Bashar al-Assad. The Russians, who are backing Assad, say they want to prevent a military confrontation between Ankara and Damascus. President Trump has announced economic sanctions against Turkey, and other European allies are also calling for Turkey to stop its military action.
The South Korea car company Hyundai has decided to invest roughly $35 billion into making electric and self-driving cars by 2025. Hyundai's plan was supported by a pledge from South Korea's government to spend roughly $2 billion on cutting-edge auto technology. The president of South Korea says the goal is to become the #1 country for future car competitiveness by 2030. South Korea plans on 1/3 of their cars being electric within the next decade.
Statues of Christopher Columbus have been vandalized in California and Rhode Island. San Francisco workers scrubbed the red paint off the statue. Under it was a sign that read, "Destroy all monuments of genocide and kill colonizers." And in Providence, the statue was vandalized with a sign saying, "Stop celebrating genocide." The granddaughter of an Apache tribal leader says she understands why someone would want to vandalize a statue, but said it was the wrong way to send a message. Other celebrities also tweeted their support to Indigenous Peoples Day by saying, "The only Christopher that should be remembered is Wallace."
The Saddleridge Fire in Riverside County that killed 2 people has now been fully contained after burning 1,000 acres in Cali Mesa. Matador News reporter Lily Mireles is in the newsroom with the latest updates on the fires in the San Fernando Valley.
Thanks, Omar. The Saddleridge Fire has burned about 8,000 acres and is 44% contained. The fire began in Silmar Thursday night, also affecting Granada Hills and Porter Ranch. It led to 100,000 evacuations and the death of at least 2 people, both from heart attacks. The LA Fire Department says the fire began beneath a power transmission line.
Yeah, to a certain extent, because I live in the dorms, so we had like an unofficial evacuation, and I had to go to one of my friend's house nearby.
Well, when I walked outside the door on Friday, I smelled like the smell was very like heavy, and so it was like very strong, and I just went back inside.
Investigators say they still don't have a cause. Now let's go back to the studio with Sofia.
Thank you. The third Democratic debate will take place in Ohio tonight. The 12 candidates are expected to address impeachment and Trump's attack on former Vice President Joe Biden's son. Senator Bernie Sanders will be returning to the spotlight following his heart attack in California. Besides the top three candidates, Biden, Warren, and Sanders, no one has broken the 10% polling average. It's projected that Elizabeth Warren will be a target as she's been attacked in recent weeks. The debate will air tonight on CNN.
California will be the first state to push back start times for middle school and high school students. Legislation has been signed by California Governor Gavin Newsom. The change will take place in the 2022 to 2023 school year. The new law will require middle school students to start after 8 a.m. and for high school students to start after 8:30. Research has shown starting school later helps teens combat sleep deprivation, and this change will help to improve mental health, academic success, and of course attendance.
Tomorrow is World Food Day. This year, World Food Day calls for action to make healthy and sustainable diets accessible to everyone. CSUN is a leader in sustainability and offers services such as the free food pantry and a weekly farmers market. Since 1945, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations aims to end hunger, malnutrition, and maintain the overall health of the planet. Now let's go to Daniel Ramirez with the latest in health.
Thanks, Sofia. Concussion rates are increasing in high school football games. The National High School Sports Related Increase Surveillance Database shows boys football had the highest concussion rate with 10.4 concussions per 10,000 athlete exposures. Coming in second was girls soccer with about 8 concussions per 10,000 exposures, and third is boys hockey. The study says most concussions occurred during competitions. The only sport with higher rate in practice was cheerleading. STDs are going up. The Sexually Transmitted Disease Surveillance Report says that for the 5th consecutive year, cases of gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis have risen in the United States. There have been a total of 2.4 million infections diagnosed and reported last year alone. Possible causes for the rise in STD cases can be where you live, that fewer people are using condoms, and more people are getting tested and diagnosed. Now let's go to Damian Gordon for the latest in business news.
You don't have to be a savior to walk on water. A Brooklyn-based creative arts company, Mischief, released a pair of Jesus shoes. The shoes are a pair of Nike Air Max 97 sneakers with a golden Jesus on a crucifix as a shoelace charm and holy water from the River Jordan in the soles. The shoes are now on sale for $4,000. They originally went on sale for $1,425 and sold out within a minute. Past projects from Mischief include Times Newer Roman, a new font that is a 10% bigger version of Times New Roman to help students fill their term papers, and Man Eating Food. That's a YouTube channel about a man eating food. Chipotle has just announced it will pay for employees to get their degrees in business or technology. The food chain wants to attract and retain talent in highly competitive labor markets. Employees must work at least 120 days prior and work a minimum of 15 hours a week. They can choose from 75 different programs at the University of Arizona, Wilmington University, Southern New Hampshire University, Bradman University, or Bellevue University. The program will begin on November 15th. Now let's go back to Daniel for more on sports news.
The Lakers played their first home game following their trip to China as they hosted the Golden State Warriors. Rookie Zach Norvell Jr. led the way for the Lakers with 22 points, including this and one in the fourth quarter. The big men also had a good day in the office as Dwight Howard grabbed himself a double-double with 12 points and 13 rebounds. And JaVale McGee also had a double-digit points, including this 3 from deep, as the Lakers went on to win 104-98. The Lakers are now 2-2 on the preseason, and they're set to play the Warriors 2 more times, scheduled for tomorrow and Friday. The Washington Nationals have a 3-0 lead in the series with the St. Louis Cardinals for the NLCS. Unlike the 2 games before that were decided by 2 points, the Nationals exploded for 8 runs, leaving the Cardinals at the brink of elimination. Steven Strasburg continued the postseason dominance, striking out 12 batters on all off-speed pitches. The 1 run that the Cards scored was unearned off Juan Soto's error in the 7th inning. In August, the Nationals were barely a playoff team. Fast forward 2 months, and now they're one game away from the World Series. We do have some drama in the AL Championship Series, as the 2017 World Champion Houston Astros tied their series with the New York Yankees in walk-off fashion. Shortstop Carlos Correa smashed a home run in extra innings to win the game for Houston.
Here's a fly ball into right. Back at the wall. This game is over.
Shortstop Carlos Correa smashed a home run in extra innings to win the game for Houston. The Blast cools off one of the hottest teams in baseball, giving the Yankees their first loss of the postseason. LeBron James has been under fire for his recent comments on NBA and the China conflict. Let's go to Matador News reporter Brittany Smith for the latest.
The NBA All-Star, who is known for his activism, said people need to be more careful with what they do, say, and tweet. This came in response to Houston Rockets GM Daryl Morey's tweet, where he sided with Hong Kong. James said, while we do have freedom of speech, there are times where there are consequences that can be negative when you're not thinking about others. Protesters have been upset by James's comments, even burning his jersey. We talked to CSUN students to see what they thought.
I feel like that's their way of reacting to it, like their speech, how they want to deal with it. But I don't feel like anyone should be burning jerseys because, like I said, there's politics shouldn't be involved in sports. Obviously it is. It has the pros and cons, but I feel like it's just the love of the game. Like, you shouldn't burn players' jersey because I feel like it's just disrespectful to the player.
It's not right that he didn't speak up now because usually he's all about being more than an athlete and speaking up on politics. And when the issue is going to affect his brand and affect his money, he shuts up about politics. But when it's something that's going to promote his brand, he wants to be more than an athlete, and he gets more involved in it. But LeBron's still the GOAT. He's still better than MJ, better than Kobe.
Jordan? All right, I don't know what the hell that fool was talking about. But all I'm saying is that Kobe's better. On top of that, it's the same concept. Most of these athletes, they're stuck in a predicament. The coaches speak out, and they feel the need that they need to speak out. And certain GMs, they want to speak out, especially Daryl Morey, or I forget his name. But I think is the best thing to do is for athletes to just speak up.
I mean, it's a hard thing to decipher, I guess. I feel like if I were in LeBron's shoes, I wouldn't have said that because I'm more interested in free speech than any other. Free speech is more important than basketball, in my opinion. I feel like a whole region having free speech would probably outweigh the cost, in my opinion. But I don't know. That is kind of hard if that's your livelihood and you're losing a lot because of this comment. So I guess it's either way, I still would side with Hong Kong.
The NBA season starts 1 week from today, where LeBron will suit up with the Lakers and face the Clippers at Staples Center. Now let's go back to Damian in the studio for more news on entertainment.
In South Korea, a K-pop star has been found dead in her home, raising concerns over the high pressures of K-pop fame. Sully, the former member of girl group FX, was found dead in her home yesterday in what authorities say appears to be suicide. Her body was discovered by her manager. Her agent says the star's family is planning a private funeral. Sully was one of few celebrities to publicly support the legalization of abortion in South Korea, and openly talked about the cyberbullying she faced for being outspoken in a conservative country. In a recent interview, Sully said she was lying to everyone about how happy she was. Sully is not the only K-pop star battling mental health reports. Reports have cited a growing crisis in the K-pop industry. Many Fortnite users say they were outraged during the game's 2-day update. The developers ended the video game's 10th season by introducing a new map to the video game's franchise. Fortnite is a multi-game platform where players can build forts, gather resources, and battle each other. Many video game users were stunned by the long wait, many wondering if Fortnite was ending the game for good. Gamers can now play the Chapter 2 through mobile phones or video game systems. The 3-day country music festival Stagecoach has released its 2020 lineup. Thomas Rhett, Carrie Underwood, and Eric Church are the top headliners. Additionally, country music stars Dan and Shay, Midland, and John Party are appearing for the first time. Also on the roster are Old Town Road collaborators Billy Ray Cyrus and Lil Nas X. The festival runs from April 24th to April 26th. Tickets go on sale this Friday. Former Oscar winner Cuba Gooding Jr. has turned himself into authorities in New York and has pleaded not guilty to charges of sexual misconduct. The victim claims Gooding touched her breast during a night out in 2018. Gooding's lawyer, Mark Heller, says the allegations aren't true.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is certainly innocent of the allegations that will be presented today before the court.
Gooding Jr. won his Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in 1996 for his role as Rodney Tidwell in the movie Jerry Maguire. Reports say 3 more women have come forward to the police with allegations. Now let's go back to Omar with more news and weather.
Thanks, Damian. The 46th Annual World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off finally has a winner. Northern California participant Leonardo Urena set the state record for the largest pumpkin, 2,175 pounds. He previously won the competition back in 2011. A $1,500 prize was awarded for the feat, and it's the second largest pumpkin grown in the competition's history.
It is 83 degrees right now in Northridge. Today we will see a high of 90 degrees with a clear sky and slight winds up to 10 miles per hour. Humidity of around 20% is good news for those local firefighters. Air quality has improved after this weekend's brush fires as well. The weather's cooling down this week, and by Friday, the high will be 80 degrees. Thank you for watching Matador News.
I'm Omar James.
I'm Sofia Gutierrez.
I'm Daniel Ramirez.
And I'm Damian Gordon.